Here we are, day 1 of the 2024 Junior Gold Championships. I had my first block at 11:30 a.m. at Thunderbolt Lanes on a pattern considered by many to be the most difficult of the tournament. As predicted, this is definitely on the longer side. I predict maybe 46 to even 50 feet long. I started out with a dull DNA, but after that seemed to be deflecting too much. I switched to a kind of shiny exotic gem, which seemed to maintain its energy a little better down lane. The original plan was to bounce off the gutters, but going up 3 seemed to give me the best ball reaction. Relish in that 209 now because we are going to go a little downhill here, sorry. At least I can say I was plus at one point during Junior Gold. After switching to a new pair more in the middle, something seemed to just throw off my focus, whether it be I wasn't being patient and just throwing the ball, or I was just plain missing inside, which if you do so, your ball will go very straight and not move, causing splits, washouts, what have you. I had a whopping 16 going into the 3rd frame, so I knew I had to make some sort of adjustment. I balled up to the summit peak to see if I could get a little more shape out of the ball, but it read too early for my liking, and I went back to the exotic to see if I was able to make some footing adjustments instead of going to a whole new ball entirely. I did what I could and managed to salvage a 158 game, already breaking one of my goals of not having a game below 175. So yeah, honestly my scores were okay so far. I know there's a whole lot of Junior Gold left, so one bad game isn't going to immediately take me out of it. A block of minus 400 would probably do that, but I trust myself enough to not let that happen. Famous last words, am I right? So in my last game, I made the decision that I was not going to have my first block at something like minus 75, so I switched to a weaker Pearl, the Revenant, and started to throw it right up 3. Again, I am going to say deciding on the Revenant between that and the Hustle Rip for my 5-game ball sheet is still the best decision I think I've ever made. I started striking more and more, and with every 4-pin I tripped out, I was getting more fired up, and when that starts up, I already know I'm about to finish good. After going 6- to start that final game, I salvaged a big game, well, big for me at least, of 219. Saved my block and I ended up shooting very decently well for my first block of Junior Gold. Last year I started with minus 100 on the dot, so I was already feeling way more confident than last year. I'm joined here by Kai Nitschke and Nicholas Sachs. Just shut up. Alright, so we just bowled the first block at Thunderbolt Lanes. Could I get you guys' thoughts on the pattern and how you think you did on it?
The pattern hooked a lot to the gutter, but I think it was all right because I got it to the gutter. But if I didn't get it to gutter, I got 6. And okay, so I shot 2-0, 220, 150, and then 207. I think I forgot. It was pretty good, but I missed a lot of spares, so I was unfortunate. Nick, how'd you do?
My favorite part of the block was when I threw the ball in and I almost missed that pin right. I went 3 2-8-10s one game in a row on the same lane, but
nice.
Pulled out minus 59. Wasn't exactly where I wanted, but it was close. So we'll come back next block and we'll do better.
All right, we've just finished the first block at Thunderbolt Lanes. I am joined here by Logan Krapinski and Ricardo Avila. Logan, you got the mic in your hands first. How do you think you did this block?
Well, I went minus 114 today. I couldn't find a consistent line at all today. No strikes at all. I probably doubled once or twice out of 4 games, but I only missed 2 makeables, so I guess that's the only positive I can really take out of it.
Yeah, there's always a bright side to the cloudy days.
Yeah.
Ricardo, how we feeling?
So, I did pretty bad. I scored well. I missed 9 makeables today and had 1 split that I missed as well.
So you go plus or minus?
I shot a 805, so I'm plus 5.
Okay.
It was all right. Just got out to outside of 5, and I basically struck every single time. So get back at it tomorrow for the medium at score.
Heading into score, I felt a little more confident in myself after the block I had at Thunderbolt. Despite never finding a plan A or a plan B to have in practice there, I felt like I could use what I learned from friends and sources to determine what I could do in the warm-ups. As it turned out, DNA up 6 was quite the play. Despite leaving 9 in almost every single frame, including 2 stone 9s, which was... wow, I managed to go over for this first game, which I was really happy with. What I was not happy with was my performance in the next game. I left splits, missed makeables, didn't strike enough. I was all over the place. I thought it was the ball, so I changed it to the Revenant for a couple of frames, but I got out of that and back to the DNA, as I knew that one had a reliable shape if I toyed around with it a little more. Now here's the thing. One thing I am really glad to have as part of my arsenal is a very strong mental game. I think it's more important to have one than it is to have a strong physical game. Because of this, I started my next game with a fresh mind and a fresh attitude. What has just happened is in the past now, and I can't change that. However, I can use what I learned last game and implement it into this game. My first step of that plan was to slow down my approach. I think I was just getting up on the approach and throwing the ball without thinking what it was going to do or where it was going to go. I made sure my feet were in order and I was staring straight at my spot. Take 2 deep breaths and go at it. I bounced back and suddenly was not out of it anymore. Now I started to get the hang of this thing, and I want to say I was motivated by not wanting to go minus 100 for this block, so I did what I had to do for the last game, and well, I would say we finished that off successfully. Yes, I am frustrated about that 133, but looking at the bright side, not many are able to come back even stronger off something like that, and that is why a strong mental game goes a long way in the end. Alright, what up, gang? This is Noah interviewing Noah. I'm not doing that bit where I pretend I'm behind the camera again, because that was freaky. Anyway, earlier today I bowled my second block at score lanes on the medium pattern, and I feel like I did surprisingly well considering I had no line in practice, and well, I think I struck maybe like twice, and both times for Brooklyn's. Overall, I just had one really horrible game, not gonna lie, but I was able to keep my mental game strong and keep my composure, and was able to grind out a what I shoot minus 68 block. So overall, I'm minus 104 across the 2 hardest patterns uh, of the tournament. So I think I can pull up some good ones at Super Bowl and Century Bowl and boost my way up to like maybe top 100. Other than that, that's all I got. And yeah, bye.